every day is a rugby day.
I'm working at the Imperial Hotel in Tokyo, and this area called Ginza, which is center of Tokyo.
Hey everybody, it is 2019, and in 2018, Next Level Rugby was all over the country and the world, bringing you coverage of our sport up close and personal. It all started in Denver, then headed out to Vegas, and then next thing you know, we're in New York City, Japan, Austin, Texas, and a bunch of other places all across the country. But we would really like to thank the players, our fans, and most importantly, our partners that are helping to drive the growth of American rugby here in the United States and beyond. So let's just take a look at some of the shots that, we really loved and fell in love with, and, what made 2018 a special year is going to make 2019 even better. We're looking forward to what 2019 brings, and stay tuned. And remember, every day is a rugby day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this match between the New England Free Jacks and the storied Lansdowne Road rugby team, 1872 in Dublin. They were formed by Henry Dunlop. And here at the Irish Cultural Center, the spectacular Irish Cultural Center in Canton, Massachusetts, just south of Boston. Matt McCarthy here with Greg McWilliams. And Greg, this looks like it's going to be a lot of fun today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way for the Free Jacks to finish their exhibition season, and for Lansdowne, one of the best club sides in Ireland, to come out here, playing at the Irish Cultural Centre as well, Matt. So it's very exciting for me, being Irish and also being here in America, to welcome the Irish team in. So looking forward to seeing how they perform.
Yeah, and you've got some of your Irish team right up, your Irish friends in front of you right now, the starting forwards. You know a few of those guys.
I do indeed, yeah. Yeah, I see Barry Fitzpatrick, who's coming back now. He's been off for about a year. And good to see Matt Healy in there in the second row.
That's right. And you've got Jack Dwan is in that forward pack, isn't he?
Yeah, Jack Dwan is a player that I coached with the Leinster 19s a number of years back. Big, strong player, so it'll be looking forward to seeing how he gets on here today. All
right, we've got a few of those people that you've coached throughout your storied career as well, my friend. And in the back line, you've got the fly half with a legendary career, Scott Deasy.
Well, I mean, I never coached Scott, but Scott was an ex-Munster player who's been playing back in the AIL now for about 3-4 seasons. He's done a great job at Lansdowne. He was a pivotal player when they won the AIL title there a couple of years ago, so expect him to be controlling the game well.
Right, in the back line you have the captain, Eamon Mills. He's an interesting player to watch, dynamic at fullback. And then for the local boys, the Free Jacks, you've got a couple of guys that have had some time with other Major League Rugby teams. Sean McNulty, for instance, just got back from a run with the Rugby United New York, as did Jackson Thebes. And you've got a couple of guys that are interesting and looking forward to the next season, and some that are raising their hand to get noticed.
Yeah, I mean, Sean McNulty is an Irish player who was with Munster and Leinster Academy, who was over here and was loaned out to the Rooney side, did well and performed well in the Major League this year. So to have him come back here now and play is good for him to state a claim. You know, he is American qualified, so he'll be looking certainly towards the next Rugby World Cup in 2023.
That's right, and of course we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the birthday boy, always young in rugby years, Petheli Rinakama, who just continues to excite folks.
Yeah, it's good to see him playing. An exciting player, Fijian. He played on the Fijian 7 circuit a number of years ago. He actually played in New Haven. I had the opportunity of coaching him a couple of years back. Very exciting player, and he'll be looking to go from anywhere, which is exciting. Him and Christian Adams and Peter make up a pretty exciting back three for the Boston side, with Ollie and Ty Gleader. I mean, Ty Gleader's in our player pool with the USA national squad, and he was with us last November and at the ARC, so I know Ty well. Looking forward to seeing how he's developing now, and he'll be putting his name in the hat for hopefully World Cup selection later on this year.
That's right. Ty Gleader, of course, also had a run with another Major League Rugby team this year. He was with the NOLA Gold, who had an epic match against Rugby United New York last week. So some of these players, they're on a roller coaster of sorts throughout Major League Rugby, and it's great, the synergy. Our referees, though, to get us through this one is Luke Rogan, the head referee, assisted by Anna McMahon and Antoine Guillot. Antoine Guillot in French.
Yeah, Guillot, yeah. Right. My French isn't too hot, but
it'll be great by the end of this match, I guarantee you.
I think it's how you pronounce the name, yeah.
All right, so our visitors are going to tee it off, it looks like, and kick to our hometown boys. Again, we are at the Irish Cultural Center just outside Boston in Canton, Massachusetts, and it couldn't be a more spectacular day for rugby. We've got a great crowd, a great facility, and a storied franchise versus a new franchise, as the more experienced side is going to kick off right now in the form of Mr. Scott Deasy. And he switches and goes the other way. And there we are. And the Free Jacks take the ball. That's Connor Kindergan, D1 Player of the Year in Ireland for good reason with the Cork Constitution. Ball's being dug out by Ollie Engelhart. Dartmouth kid puts up our first kick. Little canine. Handled nicely by the captain, Mills, who runs into a sea of red, white, and blue jerseys. Of course, the Free Jacks in the red, white, and blue of New England, and then the red, yellow, and black of Lansdowne, and they have a big run. all right out of the gate, Greg.
Yeah, lots of room there given to Lansdowne. They've taken the space on the outside. I mean, straight away from Molly, put up a contestable, and Lansdowne got themselves out of there, and now they're on the front foot going forward and towards the halfway line.
Yeah, you got some heavy contact going on in the beginning. You know, the other Irish teams have said in this competition that the Free Jacks hit hard. Yeah, there's number 14, Dan McAvoy, racing down.
Yeah, twice already we're seeing, I suppose, an out-the-back pass that's beaten a few defenders on the inside. So straight away the intent with Lansdowne is to try and move the ball wide, and we can see it off their 10 here again, more than likely.
And there goes DC.
There, space develops on the inside.
And they're in for their first try, just like that. The visitors crossing the whitewash.
Yeah, well,
didn't take long.
I mean, they went wide there. You know, 6 phases, found themselves in a good attacking position, and I think it was Dan McAvoy there, who, an ex-scrum half from Gonzaga, who dotted down there underneath the sticks. Good play, though. I mean, you saw twice the out the back to go wide, and then using the front line as well. So Scott varied the attack there, which made it harder for the defense to get into a rhythm.
Yeah, and there is McAvoy touching it down under the posts. So we're now just into the match, and it looks like this is going to be a pretty easy kick.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're into a slight breeze here. I'd be pretty surprised if Scott was to miss this. More than likely, you're looking at 7-0 here. Just 2 minutes gone.
Can you claim jet lag at this point if you miss a kick like that?
I mean, you can claim a lot of things. I was a pretty average kicker back in my day, and I had many excuses. These guys just arrived in late last night, so I'm sure there'll be a few tired bodies in the Lansdowne team. I think the Free Jacks will be looking to stay in the game. It'll be interesting, like, if they're in the game with 60 minutes gone, how they can close out the last 20, because that's where I think this Irish side might begin to tire.
Well, they didn't exactly observe curfew rules. I know that, but I asked who the most hungover guy was on the pitch, and they just pointed to Jack, and I said, "Hi, Jack," and Jack was fine. I mean, it wasn't remotely hungover. So I think their definition of a touring side being hungover is a little bit different than ours. And there's a kick charge down. That looked like Danny Collins got a piece of that, and into touch, and we're going to have a line out.
Yeah, good kickoff there, good pressure, better pressure there.
Sorry, that's the try line. 22.
The 22 dropout, yeah.
Yeah, explain the ruling on that one, Greg.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you take the ball over the line, it's different if the ball is already over the line. You touch it down, so it was obviously already over the line. The Lansdowne player touched it down, which means that they have a 22 dropout.
All right, and there's not the best kick, and it's Pago Haini is in the mix to that. Knock on indeed by Lansdowne, and it will be a scrum down, our first of the afternoon, to the Free Jacks. What do you think that's going to happen up front during the course of this match?
I mean, we'll find out more, in the next sort of 15, 20 minutes, but very important first scrum here. I know it's a relatively new front row for the Free Jacks against a well-established, cohesive forward pack for Lansdowne. So this will be a telling part of the game. I think either team will want to have parity and scrum to be able to get their launch attack into full flow.
Squeeze!
Brogan giving the demands, and a little pickup by Haney. To Engelhardt. There's Leader with a little kick. Is he looking for Christian Adams? Nicely taken. There's the birthday boy, Pathelli Rinakama. He puts it down. Happy birthday, Pathelli.
Yeah, great awareness there by Tig. It was a very narrow Lansdowne defence. Lovely crossfield kick. Christian Adams there with an inside pass to Pacelli. And Peck's ain't going to miss from there. Great finish to the try, and that's an interesting try of starter play, yeah.
Yeah, so because there's really not a lot at stake other than pride, and that means a lot here, maybe we're going to see some wide open play, some chances taken.
Yeah, I think this is a very important game for the Free Jack side in particular. I think this is the end of their exhibition season. They would have learned an awful lot. And remember, they're going into the MLR next year as a team that are looking to be competitive. So they'll have their processes in place. They'll have probably a pretty rigid process and a rigid plan. So it'll be interesting to see whether it does open up for them. But certainly from the get-go, lovely to see that bit of ingenuity there by Tig and a lovely try.
Now, this is no easy kick, and we saw outside the wind is a bit of a factor here right now. It seems to be blowing in toward where Lansdowne is standing under the post. So are you playing the wind at this point if you're the kicker?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you always have to play the wind and just be aware of where it's moving. I think it's important for kickers like Tig would have been out here before the game and he would have got an idea of where the wind is coming from. Got a under that a little bit. I just missed to the right.
Oh, he just did miss that one. That was a pretty good effort, though, on behalf of the captain, Ty Gleader. So we are 7-5, or 5-7 if you're taking the home team score first. Lansdowne Road on top over the New England Free Jacks here at the Irish Cultural Center, just outside Boston in Canton, Ohio, in Canton, Massachusetts. And you couldn't ask for a better day for rugby, specifically on June, because that's where we are. There's Danny Collins taking the restart. Takes it to the ground.
Step back for me, guys. Step
Of course,
back.
his brother Owen is also on the squad today. Let's see if there's a little kick here. Maybe not. There it is. Engelhart, the kid from Dartmouth, by way of Hong Kong, and sailing, puts it up. Fielded very well under pressure, but it might be pilched. There's Haiini, Pago Haiini with it.
Space there for the kick.
There's Owen Hunt, playing blindside today, and he is a solid young player.
Yeah, he's had a good exhibition season. I mean, he's proven himself well able to play at the MLR level. Nice pass there to Christian on the outside, unlucky there.
Cleaned up nicely, though, and there's a whistle.
Lost forward.
So it's going to be a knock-on, and it's going to be awarded to Lansdowne.
Scrum.
Yeah, so already, you know, we're 7 minutes in. We've seen 2 clearance kicks from the Free Jacks, and Lansdowne have the number 8, Joe O'Brien, back there as well. So they're pretty heavily artilleried back there. So I think it's important for Ollie just to be aware.
Just get a long bind for me, so we're not on arm.
Position on the
Same
number 8.
with you. Get a long bind, so we're not on arm.
I
Elbows
think
up.
there when the winger took the ball into contact, there's a bit of space for a quick kick, but they ran it and nearly got out the outside. But a knock-on means it's a Lansdowne scrum.
Yep, and interesting to see how the front rows match up with up before. Dave McKenna, Sean McNulty, and Quentin Comer for the Free Jacks against Marty Mulhall, Jack Deneen, and Greg McGrath for Lansdowne. Jack Deneen had said to me he's from Cork, which is the self-proclaimed capital of Ireland, and he lives in Dublin, the real capital of Ireland.
Yeah, he does.
All right, on the hop and on the burst is Lansdowne. A big crashing run and a great stick right in the middle of the field. That was Danny Collins again. Danny has had a busy day so far. There's a nice kick. It's going to roll a little bit on his heels. McAvoy collects it. Corralled by Haiini. And now maybe looking for a little clearance kick.
Free Jacks just need to, no silly penalties, just keep Lansdowne down here where the wind is, and they should get control of the ball pretty soon.
All right, there's a barrel forward from the big kid, Heath.
Lansdowne going to run this out here.
Healy, I beg your pardon, yeah. There's the number 8.
There by Joe.
Joe O'Brien, downfield tackle by Tag Leader. The ball's out. Little counter. A strong run so far by Lansdowne.
Yeah, they're playing with good intent here. Good speed on the ball. That's good hands by Matt Jack Dwan there.
Yeah, that's a great play. And going forward again, Free Jacks suddenly having to play a lot of defense and make their tackles. There's a ball to nowhere, though. Collected again by McAvoy. He has had a busy day so far as well. So you've had the guys up front plus the back lines.
Yeah,
both teams have been busy.
You know, I mean, Mike Ruddock is the head coach of this Lansdowne team. He coached Wales to a Grand Slam. He's coached Leinster in the professional era. I mean, he's probably one of the best coaches around. So this team is well prepared, and you're seeing that with their style and how they're looking to play. Their basics are very effective. All right, nice pass over the top there to Dan.
There's McAvoy. And a whistle.
Around there, fellas. Lost forward. Scrum.
Be a scrum down. It's back and forth. You know, it's they're not afraid to spin the ball here.
Yeah, and you know, Scott Deasy on the Lansdowne team, good variation in his attacks. So you can see that he's thinking on the fly, which is what you always want to see in your 10. And in that case there, the defence got a bit tight from the Free Jacks. A lovely pass out to Dan McAvoy, and he got a little bit isolated and tried to kick in between Peck's legs. Peck's little knock on, and now it's a scrum to Lansdowne in a nice position here. So blind already being active, coming in off. So let's just see what start play.
And you can hear the referee calling the signals. There's a nice element that we have. Great shot there of the collapsed scrum. And it's going to be looks like it's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, I'd say Lansdowne will kick to the corner here, and they'll look to maul this.
Yep. You're right. Kick to the corner.
Line is yours, fellas.
And it'll be a line out to Lansdowne. A little confusion in the booth. All right, they're taken nicely. I think that was Jack.
No, tackle! Let him go!
Jack O'Sullivan,
well
Jack Dwan taking that
here.
one. Yeah, very well defended so far by the Free Jacks. And Greg, a lot of these Lansdowne guys have had professional experience or very high-level experience, and it's a sprinkling of younger guys and more experienced players.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Lansdowne is, as I said, one of the best club sides in Ireland. A lot of these players here will have played at a high level in the underage, and for whatever reason, a lot of them will come to Dublin if they're from outside, and they'll have a nice job and they'll still be able to play the rugby. And we're seeing some really good players here with some young players and young exciting players. And Matt Healy's one of those, an ex-St. Michael's player who's in the second row. And look to see Barry Fitzpatrick coming off the bench as well, who was with the Leinster 20s. So they have some options.
That's right. And here's an option right here. Here's the captain. He's got men wide, and it's going to be an easy try walking in for Lansdowne. Pretty standard stuff there inside. They spread them wide. They weren't covered, and they got the man that was open.
Yeah, I mean, again, you saw Lansdowne there, varying their attack. Good width, and a good try in the end by Jack, Big Jack O'Sullivan.
That's Big Willie Billy, he calls himself.
Oh, yeah.
Jack O'Sullivan, yeah.
Okay.
Met him on the pitch earlier, and he's a big lad.
Yeah,
you don't realize how big these guys are until you get down there, folks. And then you realize, well, you're better off in the booth these days.
That's right, yeah.
But that was just nothing fancy.
Good rugby, though.
Yeah, very good rugby.
Again, they held onto the ball well there from the maul. They moved the ball to the far left-hand side, moved it back. 2 long passes, and then they created the 2-on-1, and it was easy then for Jack just to dummy and go pretty close to the sticks. So expect Scott to land this and make it 14 points. Oh,
and he is
commentator's curse.
He's got the clank. That's the Boston clank right there. That's like the Green Monster, but in an H form here in rugby. Run with it. It's okay. It's going to be like that all day, folks. I promise you. We're in the shadows of the Red Sox and the Patriots, and now the Bruins. Can the Free Jacks pick up the mantle? I think they can.
I think they can, yeah. I'm just looking at Marty Mulhall there. He's a big boy. The loose head prop for Lansdowne.
He's a side of beef. And you see right next to him is your guy, Jack Dwan. He is no shrinking violet
Yeah,
either.
he was such a hard worker. I mean, the lasting memory I have of Jack is his ability to play in the open. Second row, who had the ability to play in the back row. Very good athlete, smart guy as well. Look, Lansdowne playing with good intent here again.
Yeah, they're going wide. They're going 2-on-1 on Christian Adams. A nice tackle, though, in defense, trailing. And now Lansdowne pushed back a bit, but still in control of the ball. Connor Kindrigan asking for some help, the big number 5 for the Free Jacks. He knows these Irish guys as well as anyone, as he was one, or is one. And there's a kick into touch.
Yeah, I think an important thing here for the Free Jacks is to making sure they're folding at good speed. I think if they're slow getting around the corner, I think that's where Lansdowne will look to move the ball to the outside. And there they went back against the grain. And we see now Free Jacks with the line out in a good position, so hopefully they can get hold of the ball and try and build some phases.
There you go. Here's Leader leading his troops forward. Some big collisions there. These boys are not afraid of contact. Here's Jackson Thebes, 4 years of a Division I college football career at the University of Montana. Here's Rinakama, the birthday boy. He's got... Oh, great tackle at the last second. Dragged into touch. Christian. Danny Collins.
Playing your advantage, Red. Yeah, for the loss forward.
They did the old jersey switch on us, Greg.
Yeah, I see that. Number
Christian
14,
Adams
11,
and yeah. Fortunately, we know them.
The old switcheroo.
Yeah, it's full of guys in the booth.
I mean, an impressive pass there from Tig Leader that just coaxed it, pecks into the outside space. So even though Lansdowne had numbers up defensively, that pass unlocked the outside and pecks it well to get it there. Lansdowne, good intent again to go wide.
Nice pass there by Barry Goulding, the number 12.
Backwards.
Now the ball's up in the air. Smashed back by the Free Jacks.
Stay there, White.
Free Jacks playing some solid defense in tight. They got to hone it down, work it out in the back line a little bit.
Yeah, I just think, you know, I mean, the coaches at halftime will be speaking, but Lansdowne look to be playing a lot. I think you'll be looking to apply a little bit more line speed, putting the players under a bit more pressure. So I think the greater the line speed from the Free Jacks, the less time and space the Lansdowne players will have, and they seem to have a lot of that at the moment. So I think if they can up their line speed and stop Lansdowne playing, I think that'll have a big effect on this game.
Yeah, and Greg, we've got a moment here while we're waiting the scrum down. Some of the big names that have come out of Lansdowne in Irish rugby history.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so many. I mean, I've recently, you'd have the Carney brothers, you'd have Shane Horgan, who was part of, you know, an Irish team and a Leinster team that did so well. Gordon Darcy, the centre. Stephen Rooney. I mean, all the way through time in Irish rugby, they produced international after international, and they play at the Aviva Stadium. They were part of the old Lansdowne Road, and when they knocked it down, Lansdowne's clubhouse moved just to the outside of the stadium, where it used to be in the stadium with the Wanderers clubhouse.
Right.
So they play on the back of the Aviva pitch, and yeah, I mean, they've got a brilliant program, very good under-20s program.
And you had the fortune of playing, or misfortune of playing against Shane Horgan.
I did. Well, I mean, he was a lot better than I was. I played AIL rugby, but I played against Shane Horgan in a U20s. Last time was an under-20s semi-final, Macquarie Cup semi-final in Terranure against Lansdowne, and yeah, that wasn't a very pretty match.
Yeah, and you know what? You know, we talk about the dark arts usually in the scrum and the breakdown, but Shane Horgan was no stranger to that in the back line.
No, I mean, one thing that you notice when you play against Shane Horgan is, I mean, he's very, very strong, very aggressive, and he let you know he was there all day long, so you never looked forward to it. But, I mean, he went on to be a very good rugby player, and I didn't.
All right, let's go again, fellas.
But Lansdowne, you know, Lansdowne are one of the story clubs in Irish rugby, and it's great to see them over here and playing against this Boston side.
For me, it was Ewing and down, but I'll come to this side, both elbows up or up. That's it.
All right, that was our first break, and it was a water break because it is a bit warm, although the sun's not out so much right now. So we are back to live action and our scrum down.
Good attacking position here for the Free Jacks inside the Lansdowne 22-metre line.
Set!
12-5 in favor of Lansdowne over the Free Jacks right now. It's been pretty even back and forth. A couple of open plays, and there's an unfortunate knock. And it's a whistle.
Yeah, that's disappointing for the Free Jacks. They're a good attacking platform there from the scrum, and just a silly handling error gives Lansdowne back the ball, and they'll look to slow this down and relieve some pressure.
I guess there are handling errors, and then there are silly handling errors.
Yeah, I mean, look, there is a bit of a wind out there. I'm not using that as a factor, but the pass was just a little bit too far out in front. I think they're looking to try and get to the line with some form of probably of a tied-in play, and he's got ahead of Tig there, and he didn't catch it, unfortunately.
Crouch!
All right, here's where the big boys
Fine!
try to make up for it.
Set!
Here's the put in by Connor Fergus Murphy, who was a doctor and was born in Brussels, grew up in Galway, and lives in Dublin. He gets the ball out. His backs are on attack. There's McAvoy looking for Mills.
Look for Lansdowne here to go wide again at the back.
There's a couple of big boys smashing it at midfield right there. That's a battle and a whistle and a penalty.
Again, a good exit there. Free Jacks' defence were in a little narrow, and Lansdowne played to the outside space and made good yardage there through the pass.
And there's the kick into touch by Deasy. His favorite player was Ronan O'Gara.
Yeah, I think he would have played with Ronan, certainly trained with him while towards the latter stages of Ronan's career at Munster before getting into coaching.
Jack Dineen throwing it in. Taken nicely by Lansdowne. You know, we had Munster in here. We had Ulster, Connacht, Leinster, and now this team. This is just great experience for the New England players.
Oh, it's terrific. I mean, the standard rugby here is good. I mean, the AIL standard in Ireland is a very good one. So this is a good test for them. It's, again, like we talked about earlier on, it's a nice way for them to finish off their exhibition season and plan for the start of next year's MLR.
Yes.
Good defence there.
Good defence indeed, as the Free Jacks holding tight. And it'll be a scrum down, though, to Lansdowne.
Lansdowne will be happy with the amount of space they're getting outside that 13 channel. You know, they're bringing in 1 or 2 blockers, and that out-the-back pass is working for them. So I think you're going to see Lansdowne going to that as much as they can and trying to play it a bit of width, stretch the defence, and then try and plug the holes in around the ruck. So the wider you can stand as an attacking team and the wider the defenders have to stand, the more space this actually opens up for your forwards as well as your backs. So you don't just stand wide to play wide, and we're seeing Lansdowne do it really effectively.
You got some good flankers there on the outside for Lansdowne. You got Keneally and O'Sullivan.
Just get our head and
Big
shoulders
Willie.
So far, the
Both
back row
sides,
contest has been good. I mean, the Free Jacks back row really, really busy. I must say, they've been busy in this first half, and I think they're going to need those players to remain busy throughout this game because they're doing good work in the tight. But yeah, Lansdowne, good player. Keneally was a Connacht player, came through the Irish system.
Hey, folks out there, can you clear up something for us? We had an argument in the car on the way up here. Did he go to Garbley or Sligo Grammar? You can answer us on Twitter at New England Free Jacks Twitter account. But in the meantime, the big bodies are still banging away, and there's a ball stripped, but no whistle, and continued on. Was it turned over? No. Lansdowne with a man outside. Christian Adams checks him, though, so they come back inside. Testing the short side. That's the big hooker, Jack Dineen. His father captained Munster back in the day, as he says. So he's got rugby coursing through his veins, as do most of the players on this pitch. There's a nice little move to the side. And
numbers up here now, same way.
Tackled there before he got back up. We're going to come back 13 white offside.
So there's a bit of playing the advantage there. They no advantage gained. That's playing with house money in essence.
Offside. DC, no consideration of going for the post. You're standing right in front of the posts on the road.
I mean, look, they have them all they're confident at. It's a good scoring opportunity for them. They're into a little bit of a breeze. I don't think, in this tour, I mean, you got to remember that Lansdowne have just come off the back of their season, so a number of their players are away with the U20s at the World Cup. A few will be doing exams. A number might be.
But one could argue that plays right into my logic of take the points when you can get them.
Yeah, but I think they're trying to play a bit more of a free will and try and play as much as they can.
Going backwards.
They want to be. They want to be aware of what will happen towards the last 20 minutes of this game if they give out too much steam, particularly after flying in only yesterday.
That is just a great shot of what goes on. Right, everybody fighting for the ball, trying to get a choke tackle, but it's going to be a scrum down. Explain that to the folks at home that are watching that for the first time.
So you had a maul to Lansdowne there, and you had the Free Jacks who were able to stop them to the point where it's going to be a scrum to Lansdowne. The key thing for a player defending the maul is to not come in from the side. If you come in from the side, you'll give away a penalty advantage. So it's important that you get behind your support players and make sure you come through what's called the gate. They did that pretty well there. Ideally, you're trying
proverbial
to actually,
gate.
Yeah, but ideally, what you're trying to do is you're actually trying to push the maul towards the touchline.
Use
you don't allow that maul to go infield, and then they'll have a big blind side to attack as well. So I think, in fairness to the Free Jacks, they defended that maul well.
All right, there's another whistle.
When I ask you to use it, take the ball out.
And you hear Luke Rogan, the referee, saying, when I ask you to use it, use it.
Yeah, he's trying to keep a pace on the game. He's right as well.
Yeah, but is there a time where, or point where the referees insistent on using it collides with your game plan?
Not really. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, if you've got a steady scrum and the ball's at the back of it, you should be in a position to use the ball. And most teams would want to use that ball. So let's just hope now that we get a bit of pace on this game. And it maintains at the same pace that's at the moment. It's a good start. Good opening 20 minutes here. Lansdowne certainly playing with a lot of ball in hand, and the Free Jacks are keeping them out and making the game very competitive. And
that was Connor Fergus Murphy.
Yeah.
We got his middle name. Interesting thing about him is his mom is Swedish. And the favorite moment that he's had in rugby so far was playing a Polish national team in Warsaw.
Wow.
I mean, that's a pretty cool experience.
Very cool,
right?
yeah.
This is what rugby does.
Sounds a bit chilly there.
You know, you look at the New England Free Jacks, right? They've got a sprinkling of local guys, but they've also got a guy from Denver and a guy from Cleveland on their flanks, right? In Owen Hunt and Geist. And there they might have pilched it in there, and it looks like it's been turned over, or let's see what the whistle is.
First by red, second by white.
That was a tired scrum by Lansdowne there, and like that's the thing again. Like it's warm here, particularly when you're coming from Ireland. They flew in last night. They've started with great intent to move the ball, and I think you've got certain players there who are gassed. So the longer that the Free Jacks stay in this game and keep Lansdowne out, the greater chance I think the Free Jacks will have of maybe winning this one in the end. So that was an important point for the tight five of the Free Jacks.
Yeah, big psychological victory there, certainly. And you're in your own end. Now you want an exit strategy. You haven't been in your end on defense too long, because when they've been down here, Lansdowne, they poked it in.
Yeah.
But now let's see how you get out. And they're going to choose to run it. No question. Barreling forward.
Give himself a better angle.
Just dived on him there. Stay there.
Another pass in tight.
Away,
playing it safe. Maybe Engelhart takes one here, or as he gets it back to Leader. And Leader will put it into touch. Does it find touch? It does not. The wind keeps it in play. McAvoy, Mills, and there's a big knock-on and a big break for the Free Jacks. They get lucky every now and then, right?
Very, very lucky. You want your 10 to hit Rosette there. You certainly don't want to be kicking the ball around the 10-metre line to your opposition, but we're seeing, again, tired bodies coming back from Lansdowne and played right into the Free Jacks' hands, and they got away with it. Scrum out to the Free Jacks. Really good attacking position in the middle of the field.
Make sure you stay straight from me, please.
You know, they could get the upper hand here if they can get a bit of momentum.
And just to translate, Rosette is Rosie here in the stands. You want to kick it into the back of the stands is what he was saying when he said.
As long as he can, get it off the field.
Crouch!
The eloquent Greg Williams. I'll interpret for the rest of us.
Thank you.
Layman. As Engelhart.
Big space for the kick here, bottom left. I mean, to play a bit of territory.
So feeding the hooker is just no longer even a consideration,
the rule
right?
has changed. You can actually be on your side to feed. So I think referees aren't as stringent as they used to be on that rule.
Oh, there's a nice pass. There's Danny Collins. Can he keep it in play? He does. Very smart play by Danny Collins. Hyeini, the number 8, taking on 3 Lansdowne tacklers. Takes it to ground. Some elbows flailing. No love lost in that contact area. There's a ball. Squirts into the open, but claimed by the Free Jacks, and is going to be a penalty not releasing the ball.
Yes, that's a case of ball carrier going on his own there without support. Lansdowne get in at any form or any chance that a defender can get into that space. Lansdowne did it well. They came through the gate and they turned the ball over. So it's important that the Free Jacks make sure that they have support going with the ball carrier in order to hold on to the ball for longer periods.
Yeah, Greg, it just looked like in his approach to that loose ball that Quentin Newcomer was either gassed or hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely sure. I wasn't looking out for that, but certainly there was a big gap between the ball carrier and the support player, which allowed the Lansdowne defenders in towards the ball and turn it over.
We'll check on him because he's been battling the whole day. He's the loose head, the tight head for the Free Jacks, number 3, Quentin Newcomer. Keep an eye on him. And there's a Line out taken by Lansdowne, and they are on attack again. You know, this is the thing that Mossy Lawler had said when the province teams were over here, is that the Free Jacks play a physical game of rugby for 40 minutes and then kind of wear down after it because they're playing so physically. And the other teams are just, you know, they're better skilled teams.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this could be interesting. You know, we're seeing Lansdowne not getting the same amount of change.
And there's Newcomer with a huge hit on defense right there, so he appears to be okay.
No, wait.
And he's got every reason to be gassed if he was gassed, you know, so it's easy from here. There's the captain. Mills taking it to the turf. Danny Collins in the mix again. He's been all over the pitch today. Oh, and there's a knock on. Another unfortunate error if you are a Lansdowne fan, but you have to be giddy if you're a New England Free Jacks fan.
Yeah, you know, I keep saying they start at such a pace. I think we're seeing some tired bodies out there. Certainly from where we are, Matt, we can see body language. We see players with their hands on their hips. A couple of gas players there, and we're seeing small errors coming into the Lansdowne game that we didn't see in the first 20. So at the moment, you're looking at 12-5 to Lansdowne. Free Jacks are going to get on the ball hopefully a little bit now and get a bit of momentum and play in the right areas. Maybe we'll see them getting on top of the scoreboard.
You know, I guess maybe I'm getting spoiled, and some of the folks watching this are getting spoiled. We're watching Major League Rugby a lot. And even field turf fields, and the teams are playing in hot conditions, hot conditions. But these guys are on grass. It's not really that hot out, and the sun's not boiling, beating down on them. It's just there's a different level, isn't there, in the MLR now?
No, there is. I mean, the change in the MLR this year was fantastic. I mean, for myself and the other national team coaches, it's terrific that we can see our players playing to a higher standard with greater intensity and greater pressure.
All right, that was followed. This is all following a great kick into space that had to be corralled by McAvoy, and now there's Deasy. And Lansdowne, they look to be a little bit worn as well, so maybe there's an opportunity here for the Free Jacks. There's a kick into the open space, and it trickles into touch. As Guillemont, the Frenchman, watches it trickle into the
there was a
area.
Little hint there of obstruction in the middle of the field, but Lansdowne got away with it. We saw their 12 there just kick the ball nicely in behind. I think it's Barry Goulding.
Barry Goulding, yeah.
Just kicked in there behind, so now we're looking at a Free Jacks line out in a really good attacking position. What's important here, Matt, as we watch it here, like important where their open wing is defending. Again, he's up very high. Pretty small error.
So it appeared to be okay in execution. It was McNulty to Thebes and then a drop.
Yeah, so, you know, when you're looking at a situation like a line out to the Free Jacks just around the halfway line, the open wing for Lansdowne, Dan McAvoy is up very high. A lot of kicking space there for Tig, particularly the way the wind is, just to get into the right areas to play. But unfortunately, small error means that Lansdowne have the ball back now in the form of a scrum.
It's those little things, those fundies, those fundamentals, as we say, right?
Basics done well is essential, and I know Tom Keenley here, who's currently boxing in the numbers, he'll be looking at the stats now. He'll be annoyed at that.
All right, there's a charge down the short side.
Keep coming back, Watt.
A little bit of oomph in that one.
Lansdowne don't want to slow the ball down at all because you're allowing the defence a chance to get set.
And maybe catch their breath,
I think this is going to be a penalty advantage. Surely it is. That player looked to be in from the side. They'll look to run this wide. It's an advantage in the play.
There's a nice little hit there by Collins. Ball still alive.
Lansdowne with good width in their attacking shape. Just a little bit flat though.
There's Willie Walsh with a crack at it.
They might play at the back here.
Again.
Playing off 10 and then look to go the same way. And out the back.
Charging down. There's the number 8, Joe O'Brien. And in for the try. It looks like is it Jack Dwan of Blackrock?
Yeah, that's the third time we've seen that shape with Joe O'Brien on the edge. You'll see that a lot now with teams. They'll have a forward on the edge. I mean, teams might go 1-3-3-1 or 1-3-2-2, or any combination of how you disperse your forwards across the park, but they're using the number 8 in the wide channel well. We saw them playing off 10, going up the middle, and then going the same way, going behind the group of forwards and hitting their outside loose forward Joe, who had space and did a great job there. So,
and asking an Ali Engelhart to tackle a guy like Jack Dwan with the ball on the outside, that's a tough ask.
The basic skill, though what Joe did so incredibly well there was hit a straight line.
Right.
I mean, to hit a straight line on the outside means that his position was good to begin with.
Right.
And you can't underestimate that. They're the small hidden things in rugby that are so impressive. If Joe had caught that ball a little bit further in and was drifting, well, then I think Joe would have got to him. So just a terrifically well-worked try.
You know, that's the one thing that you notice too, or I've had the pleasure of noticing doing these Cara Cup matches, and now this one as well for the Free Jacks. When you're watching these Irish teams, even the under 20 guys that are playing on these squads, they are all well versed in the small things, the fundamentals, and regardless of the score, it could be 35, 50 to nothing or whatever, they're still executing the same way.
Yeah, but remember, like, we don't have NFL in Ireland, so you know, our players will either go to Gaelic games or they'll go to rugby. In America, anybody who's very athletic, you know, they're into contact, they tend to have gone towards football. So you just have an early training age to a lot of the American players, and the more that they can play in this environment and play against better teams, the better they're going to be. This will be a brilliant experience for Josh Smith and his men now, and Alex Magaby. They'll learn a lot from this exhibition season, and they'll be in a much better place next year, moving into that their first year in the MLR. So it's very smart to have an exhibition year, Matt, and this will be very beneficial. They're going to move this.
Yeah, and you know, they're not out of this match by any stretch of the imagination. 17-5. They've not really gotten their groove going yet, so to speak.
You can't rip it out.
Yeah, they'd be disappointed in the last 10 minutes. They had the opportunity of playing a little bit of territory and getting momentum on the ball, and they allowed it slip. That's a knock-on. It's an advantage now.
They got the ball back,
Go
and
wide.
they're charging forward.
Come on. Got to move the ball. Move the ball. Move.
Come back, forward.
When you had a turnover like that from Lansdowne, you had the Lansdowne players all around the ball, so they were very, very thin on the outside. So the Free Jacks there, whenever you have a transition play in rugby going from defence to attack, you're looking to get a second pass in at least. So that's something now that watching that they'll get much better on before they get into the MLR next year, because if you get opportunities just outside the 22, you really need to take them to accumulate points.
Do you think any of the Lansdowne players might be in the mix for like a Free Jacks or an MLR squad? I mean, any interest?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I think age profile is important. You know, if you're just out of college, you don't have a partner, or you're not married, you don't have kids. I mean, it's something that you can do.
Is it something that the IRFU would frown upon?
No, I don't see it all. I think they'd like to encourage that. That's a good line by Pex.
There's the birthday boy, Rinakama. But it's kicked into touch. And racing down, there's Danny Collins, maybe thinking about a quick line out, but no. Well, Ali Engelhart, yes, maybe, yeah. Nope. They're going to settle it down.
That's a perfect case where you want a team just to hold on to the ball for a few phases and get some momentum. That's about the third or fourth time now. We've had a little bit of a break and a force of a pass, turnover, and you're just allowing the opposition team, in this case Lansdowne, to stay in the game. So ideally you'd want Pex to hold on to the ball there and just to build some phases.
There's McNulty, who played in Bahrain for a while after being born to Irish parents in London.
Yeah.
Growing up in Rye, New York. So talk about an international flavor. There's a nice kick into space. A little bit of a block there, a little obstruction, perhaps, keeping the Free Jacks player from getting in there. Looked like Guillemont was frustrated by the block of the Lansdowne player, but no call, no whistle.
But Matt, we've seen the space. You know, we're 37 minutes in. We've seen that space. Again, it's easier up here in the box, but that's the first time that we've seen the Free Jacks kick to that space. And now you're seeing the reward of that. Now it's a scrum to the Free Jacks, 10 metres out from the Lansdowne line. So that's smart rugby. Noticing that the wingers are playing high and just kicking. It's a very simple game when it's done well like that.
Yeah, Keneally, here it is again. Here's the knock. Keneally not being able to hold on to it. That's, I'd say, not characteristic for a player at his caliber.
look, they're playing a lot of rugby, right? So it's a tired error, and that's again, it's the first time we've seen the Free Jacks kick into where the space was. There's no frontline space, so that was a good option by Tig. And now, the fruits of their pressure is a scrum here in a good position, and hopefully they can get something before half time.
Yeah, keep asking those questions, perhaps, with the kicking game.
Perhaps.
All right, you got a split backfield. Got a couple of different options for Leader, depending on which way he goes. He's not afraid to kick in these situations. A little pop kick or something.
I mean, if you look at this straight away from the defensive point of view, it's left all day long. They've got 2-1. They've got 2+1 Lansdowne versus 4.
And that's exactly when you do the 8-man pickup and go the other way.
Well,
right?
You just don't go against a wheel. I mean, I think I learned that when I was 11 years of age.
Sure, you go back last week, Red.
They still got the ball here.
That's all that matters. So big drive by the Free Jacks. The Free Jacks pressing. Heine. Engelhardt.
Oh.
He's got it to Leader. Can he get in?
That's high, sir.
Looked like a high tackle. But there it is on the follow. The Free Jacks get into the try zone. And we have ourselves a match. That looks like the big guy. Number 4, Jackson Thebes getting it in.
That all came from Tig Leader kicking the ball behind Lansdowne and playing in the right area of the park. So I think they'll take a lot of heart from that going into the second half, although the wind will have a good bit to play in that. There'll be less options for kicking, but now you're going to be, 17-12 going into half. So I think the Free Jacks will be delighted with that.
We'll kick it because he's not in the way. Yeah, kick it.
Well, we're assuming the kick is going to be good, which we've always learned is the worst thing that you can do, right? Something about the word assume, you and me.
Yeah, well.
But I think I'm going to bet that the mortgage on this one. And he nailed it. Thank God the mortgage didn't get lost.
No,
and that's halftime.
Yeah.
All right. That's halftime. We're going to find out what we're doing here in the booth with you guys in a second. But in the meantime, Greg, what did you like and what didn't you like?
I liked the way Lansdowne came out and attacked. They played with good width, played a wide, middle, wide play, and they tired. And when they tired, we saw errors come in. And when the errors came in, then we saw the opportunity for the Free Jacks to get into the right half of the field and get a try at the end, which is good to see.
All right, and we are getting the word that we are going to break for a commercial, but do not go away. We'll be right back with more Major League Rugby New England Free Jacks versus Lansdowne just after this.
I'm working at the Imperial Hotel in Tokyo, and this area called Ginza, which is center of Tokyo.
Hey everybody, it is 2019, and in 2018, Next Level Rugby was all over the country and the world, bringing you coverage of our sport up close and personal. It all started in Denver, then headed out to Vegas, and then next thing you know, we're in New York City, Japan, Austin, Texas, and a bunch of other places all across the country. But we would really like to thank the players, our fans, and most importantly, our partners that are helping to drive the growth of American rugby here in the United States and beyond. So let's just take a look at some of the shots that, we really loved and fell in love with, and, what made 2018 a special year is going to make 2019 even better. We're looking forward to what 2019 brings, and stay tuned. And remember, every day is a rugby day.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Irish Cultural Center just outside Boston in sun-splashed Canton. Well, the sun's gone in a little bit, which is nicer for the players on the pitch because they were a little bit tired, running around. Physicality was a big thing in this first half.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Lansdowne only arriving in late last night on a long trip from Ireland across the sea, and I think we saw them starting like a house on fire. I think they slowed down a little bit towards the end of that first half, a couple of tired bodies. So I think the key to the second half is for Lansdowne to hold their shape and to keep going for long periods. I think if this is a tight game with 20 minutes to go, I think you can see the Free Jacks staying in the game. I think they could end up coming out here and winning this and getting out on top.
Well, you had me at across the sea. I just had visions of the Titanic or a ship, and they flew, right?
They flew, yeah.
Come on,
Still 6 hours, 7-hour flight.
All right, and
if you're playing the next day, you're looking at hydration issues, sleep issues, nutrition issues to perform at your best. So there's tired bodies there, and I think you're going to see like a lot of subs coming on very early in this, and it's a good opportunity for Lansdowne to test fringe players who normally wouldn't get an opportunity. So they'll be looking to make a name for themselves, looking ahead at next year's AIL competition.
All right, and speaking of competition, we'll be back with this competition right after this. Don't go away, folks.
Working at the Imperial Hotel in Tokyo, and this area called Ginza, which is center of Tokyo.
Hey everybody, it is 2019, and in 2018, Next Level Rugby was all over the country and the world, bringing you coverage of our sport up close and personal. It all started in Denver, then headed out to Vegas, and then next thing you know, we're in New York City, Japan, Austin, Texas, and a bunch of other places all across the country. But we would really like to thank the players, our fans, and most importantly, our partners that are helping to drive the growth of American rugby here in the United States and beyond. So let's just take a look at some of the shots that, we really loved and fell in love with, and, what made 2018 a special year is going to make 2019 even better. We're looking forward to what 2019 brings, and stay tuned. And remember, every day is a rugby day.
Everybody, welcome back to the Irish Cultural Center, the New England Free Jacks. Next year's Major League Rugby entry in the Boston region in a friendly, which is not really a friendly so far against Lansdowne. Greg McWilliams, is it?
No, it's been a great contest. Thanks for having me in. Great to be up here at the Irish Cultural Centre and watching two good teams play. We talked before the break. Lansdowne came out firing, really good attacking rugby. We're playing with good width. Made a couple of handling errors. The longer the first half went on, they got a bit tired, I think, from the travel, and we saw New England Free Jacks just score a try at the death of the first half to make it now 17-12 to Lansdowne. Lansdowne will have a bit of a breeze that's there, so it'll be interesting to see whether their game stays the same or whether they look to conserve a little bit more energy, turn the New England Free Jacks, and that's certainly what I would do anyway. I'd kick the ball a lot more in this half, being Lansdowne. I think we're going to see a lot of energy conservation from their players. They certainly, I think, can't keep that pace up. And then for the Free Jacks, it's about holding on to the ball and trying to work their way into scoring opportunities. So looking forward to this second half.
And you had said a couple of times while the game was going on that you wanted to see the Free Jacks open it up a little bit or test the defense a little bit more, right? Ask some questions, and they did just that. Yeah, I mean, we saw times that Lansdowne were playing with their wingers high, so there's an opportunity to kick in behind at times, and then other times we saw them in quite narrow. I see Barry Fitzpatrick on the field now for Lansdowne, which is great. He's still only 20 and didn't play rugby this year. He's another St. Michael's boy. He's just on the field there, so excited to see him and how he gets on. He's looking very fit. So I expect the bench to play a big part in this today as well. All right, as we get set to start our second half, Tig leader, Eagle number 532, Greg.
Yeah.
And we could talk about the possible looking at players from your end on the USA Rugby side as assistant coach as we get underway. There's the ball hit deep, and here comes a counterattack by Lansdowne. Not exactly the same energy level they came out with in the first kick. But we'll see. It's premature right now. Here we go. No, but I interrupted you. You were saying?
No, I'm saying there, I was just saying I'd be very surprised if we didn't see a kick going in and it just came off their second attacker. But he was outside or brought back into the 22, so it's going to be a line out to the Free Jacks at the 22 now, so good attacking position for them to start the second half well.
All right, and there's our first line out, or our first set piece of the second half, as they say. And in the set piece realm, who's done well and who hasn't in your estimation?
I think similar to how Lansdowne played the first half. I think they started very sharply, but they tired, and when they tired, we saw the scrum of the Free Jacks improving and being a little dominant. I think it's a good maul again. We're seeing a good maul, a good tight maul against quite a tired group of players, and they're working it infield well, which is what you want with your maul penalty advantage.
Oh, there's Tag Leader on the outside, and he's going to sneak in just like that. How does he sneak in like that?
I mean, that's good play. I mean, that's why we talked earlier on. When you maul, you want to bring the maul infield to open the blind side, and that's exactly what the Free Jacks did really well. That was a tired defensive effort from Lansdowne, and Ollie saw the space on the outside, and Tig gladly took it. So good try, 17 apiece now with the conversion to come.
Unbelievable. Tig Leader. We mentioned that he's Eagle number 532. He must have heard us. He sneaks into the try zone unscathed.
Yeah, I mean, we go into camp now on the 21st of June. Our first, I suppose, our warm-up camp, and Tig is a player who we're looking at the moment. You know, we have over 50 players who are in our peripheral squad, and that gets selected down to 36. So we've got some tight calls to make. So it's really good to come up here to Mass and just to see Tig play and get the opportunity to have a chat with him after the game and see how everything is going. But he took that try well, and let's see if he can add the 2-pointer.
This is a big kick right here. And it is going to go wide. So we are notched at 17 right now. And that is a pretty solid start to the second half for the Free Jacks.
Great start.
Got to bottle whatever Josh Smith said in the locker room and sell it in the concession stands. We call that Josh Juice.
I'd have a sip of that right now if there's any Josh Juice going around. He's down the end of this booth here pretending he's not listening, but whatever he said at halftime worked.
Actually,
good start.
I don't think he's actually listening. I think he's doing something more important, coaching.
I think they'll go to the maul a bit in the second half.
It's just a little bit eager is the veteran Patheli Rinakama, the birthday boy. And, you know, he's going to regret that one. He's had a lot of rugby in his career, good rugby, all over the place, including the Hartford Wanderers. I have to mention that for Ryan Ginty, our executive producer.
I mean, that's a coach killer right there. They had a good setup in place, and the player just makes an error. So you now have Lansdowne in a good attacking position.
Crouch!
All right.
Bend!
It's another great camera angle.
Sit!
Interesting, they're playing Barry Fitzpatrick at 12. He's a back rower by trade.
Use it!
Maybe they want to test that defense a little bit more.
Joe did well to go with the wheel there. Gets on the front foot.
You know, it's a good thing you're in the booth with me because I don't have Barry Fitzpatrick or Fitzgerald on my sheet here at all.
Barry Fitzpatrick is currently number 22, and Ian Prendeville's on as well. Ian was the club captain last year. He's come in, I believe, at loosehead prop.
He won the turnover. Holding on.
That's an important turnover from the Free Jacks.
Now, a little bit about Prenderville, Ian Prenderville. Let's go back to 2010. The RDS, the famed pitch for Leinster in Dublin. Clongowes College beat a certain St. Michael's team.
They did, yeah.
And were you part of that St. Michael? Were you the coach of that St.
was.
Michael's team?
Gutting day. Yeah, Ian Prendeville was the loosehead prop for Clongowes against Michael's. You know, 6 of that pack actually are now professional rugby players. The 2 Byrne brothers who got a medal last weekend with Leinster were in the front row with Ian. So it was a strong front row, and Tig Byrne, Conor Gilson and Jordan Coughlin were in that pack, and Nick McCarthy.
But it's not like you had slouches on your side of the ball. You had the likes of Dan Levy and Cahal Marsh, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and Luke McGrath was there as well, and Emmett
McGrath in this country.
I mean, I mean, look, they started well. I always look back on, as a coach, you always look back on certain days and you regret certain things, and that's one of them. I didn't really do enough work with the players on our box kick, and we're a little bit open, and they attacked that, and they scored 2 early tries, and from there, it was pretty much downhill. That was a long day and a disappointing day at the office. But Ian was loose head that day, and I think he's actually playing in the tight. He is.
All right. We'll let you reminisce about that loss a little bit later. But right now we're back to this tied match as Tig leader gets the ball, but it is tipped on the kick attempt, and it's cleaned up by Peter Lupton, who they call, nope, that's, beg your pardon, that's Willie Walsh, Lupton's counterpart at 13. A little tip to pass to nowhere, and Rinakama, who always makes something exciting, sprinting down after his own kick, collected by the Captain Mills, gets it into the hands of Niels Murphy.
Oh, did well to not let them out. Good pressure by the Free Jacks. So key whenever you're in that position and you're an outside defender, just apply pressure. Don't allow the attack any chance of getting out, because it'll force an error. And that was a great example there on the outside, just to force a little bit of an error. And now we have the Free Jacks, who have a nice attacking position with a scrum just inside the Lansdowne 22. Peck's just made up for his little error he had just after the try, so he'll be a happier man now, I'm sure.
And this is a tale of two halves. We haven't seen too many scrums for New England in the opposition's end.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a young half so far, so this is a telling point now how the scrum can do.
All right, here we go. And Lansdowne driving them back, but Engelhardt able to, it's Heine with the old 8-man pickup.
That was a better scrum from Lansdowne, Matt. You know, put the Free Jacks under a bit more pressure than they had previously.
There's Big Dave McKenna barreling forward. And a banger main. Oh, there's a big collision. It's like McNulty. Here's this try-scorer leader sneaking through. Is he going to win his next? Is he going for the brace? He is! Tig leader in for the brace.
Great show and go. You know, good work off the ball from the inside. That show and go set up Tig in a nice little space. Beat Scott Deasy. He'll be happy with that now, scoring to the sticks, giving the Free Jacks the lead.
There it is. Look at them. He sneaks right through there. The Galwegian.
Did well. His brother Dara is currently playing with Connacht.
That's
so
right.
It's good for Tig to come over here now, and he'll be very happy with that.
That's yet another angle from our crack next level rugby production crew. As leader, can't get tired of looking at that.
One of the things, again, if you're watching this, that you see Tig do really well that you wouldn't notice, he squares up to the line, and as a result, he just allows that space for himself. So if you're out there and you're a young 10 or a young 12, the ability to stay square to the line is something that is really special. So don't underestimate that as a skill. And he did that really well, and he brought in that defender and created space for himself.
All right, I shouldn't admit this, but there are two sets of posts, and after it went through the first one, it clanked off the crossbar on the second one, and I was about to say the kick was no good. It just bounced off but I didn't.
You didn't.
I didn't say
you
it.
didn't.
I
Well,
did
you
not
did,
say
but
it.
you didn't.
I did and I didn't.
You did and you didn't.
All right, there's the restart, taken under pressure by the Free Jacks. On top, 24-17 after being down 17-5. Turning the tables on the boys from Lansdowne. There's Rinkama. Heine inside. Nice little pass. He rambles forward. Strong carry. Here's Engelhardt. Engelhardt looking for Thebes. There's Newcomer.
Yeah, we're playing advantage there. Offside. Lansdowne are really tiring here defensively.
And there's a collective like we had here, but it comes back.
So like we talked about in the first half at Lansdowne, a reduced Lansdowne defence there. Tig hit the outside to Pex. Good switch. Brought in the big boy. Route 1. Ran over Scott Deasy. And we had an offside there from Lansdowne. So penalty. Looks like they'll kick this again to the corner and let their maul do the work, which is quite effective towards the end of the first half, start of the second half.
And we'll have to keep an eye on our man Pitheli Rinakama, the birthday boy. It looks like he's grabbing the back of his taped hamstring.
Yeah, he looks in pain there. We don't really know how old Pex is. People say he's 56.
He is 117 years old.
Yeah, but he tells you he's like 21.
Yeah.
So we're not really too sure how old Pex
If
is.
he's 21, I am Thor in my hair department.
Yeah, that's
right?
it.
But whatever it is, he's got a lot of experience and wisdom that he's using on that pitch
After
right now.
15.
And his team is up
Around, Ray, around!
17 after looking like they
Make
were
sure you
dead.
transfer the ball.
Again, the ball's been transferred back there. Sean McNulty with the ball at the back. Nice
Same
control.
ball.
This maul's impressive from the Free
Use
Jacks.
it! Use it! Use it!
Why use it?
You know,
I don't understand why you had to use the ball. It was moving.
Transfer the ball. You can't go in front of the man.
well, we talked about that earlier.
I think he's saying, Matt, that the ball wasn't transferred back, which is
You must
now a
transfer
rule
the
that
ball
came in.
backwards.
Yeah.
I did. I asked you to use it twice.
Indeed, you nailed it. That's what he said.
Yeah, I couldn't see that from where we are, but that was the only way that would have been a turnover. That maul's pretty effective from the maul's effective there.
Yeah.
They're going to try and use it as much as they can.
It's amazing.
Josh should be delighted with that maul. I know TK was as well, dashing in the stats here beside me.
It's amazing how we see things differently than the referee does.
Yeah.
From up here in the booth and him on the pitch, right?
Yeah, I've been like that for 35 years. As a player, referees and myself always had nice discussions, and now as a coach,
Pleasant.
very pleasant.
Pleasant. I'm sure you speak to them the way you speak to me right here.
Of
in the
course.
booth. Yeah. There's a kick, and it does find touch, and there's a happy fan.
You can't underestimate, again, the importance of not giving away penalties in the wrong parts of the field. You're just allowing Lansdowne, who are tiring, with the opportunity to relieve pressure, and now they have a line out in the halfway line, all because of an error by the Free Jacks. So, it's not like Lansdowne did anything to win that penalty.
All right, that didn't look like it was thrown in straight, and it's going to be a whistle indeed. Nice try, a sneaky throw in from Jack Deneen, trying to catch everybody asleep, but we got him. Despite the fact that he played for the Hamilton Old Boys, the Collegians, Connacht Rugby, Shannon. He's been playing since he was 4. He didn't get away with it.
No, look, there's a bit of a win there as well. Jack's a quality player. He's been around the block. He knows the game. This is a big point. Generally speaking, when you have a crooked in, you see the teams go to the scrum an awful lot. Lansdowne scrum has got on top in the last sort of 15-20 minutes. And so we're seeing the Free Jacks go to the line out, which is a big part of Sean's game.
Hey, Greg, we've got a substitution. We've got Kyle Sekera in, 275 pounds of him, wearing number 18 for the Free Jacks. I want to talk about him in a moment, St. Bonaventure University connection. But in the meantime, here's that ball again, off the line out. There's McNulty, who just had a run with Rugby United New York on loan from the Free Jacks.
They've got really good control of that maul, I must say.
And it's like broken. It's broken into 2 spots. Here goes Connor Kindergan. Kindergan barreling forward. And there's it in the hands of Haini. And just like that, it's all Free Jacks.
We talked just at half-time that Lansdowne looked to be tiring, and Free Jacks come out with a really clear plan in the second half. They've gone to their maul, which looks very, very impressive, very well coached. And you had a breakaway there, and from there, good quick ball. Hit their 8 straight through the hole, and a great try.
Pago Hakma Taimua Haini with the try.
Yeah, I was going to say the same.
There it is again. There's a big run by Kindergan, who actually ran indoor track in Ireland, and was like all conference, as well as being a rugby player and a pretty good hurling or Gaelic football player.
I knew he was a good Gaelic football player. I'm not sure about his track ability.
Are you doubting me? In the 60-meter sprints and 100-meter sprints.
No.
Indoor regional track and field medals.
Wow.
And I can tell you a little bit more about him. His favorite movie was Shawshank Redemption. And he likes his theme song to be AC/DC's TNT.
But Shawshank Redemption, it should be like, what's your favorite movie except Shawshank Redemption? Because everyone just goes to that. Do you know what I mean? It's just too obvious.
Ask me mine.
What's your favorite movie?
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Ask me mine.
What's yours?
Shawshank Redemption.
All right, there's the score, 32-17. Is that accurate? Let's check that score. 31-17. 31-17. We are firing the PA announcer. He's standing right next to us, so we can kid him. No, he's not. You're fired. No, you're fired. No, you really get out. All right, there's the restart. We have to take control back of the booth as Christian Adams counterattacks.
Tackle roll.
Nice little spurt there at the end by Christian Adams, who's had some sevens experience. There's Sakira. St. Bonaventure started to play rugby his freshman year of high school to stay in shape for ice hockey. Not sure that panned out the way he thought, but he was a 3-time collegiate All-American and a collegiate All-American as a sevens player. Check my eyes. It's a turnover, though, in Lansdowne. They haven't given up the fight.
This is a narrow defense here from the Free Jacks. If they go out the back here, they could be in a bit of trouble.
Oh, there's a little give and go by the front rows and a long pass out wide. There's the wing, number 11, Niels Murphy. And now Lansdowne with a rally and a big hit and a couple of bursts into the open. There's Dwan. Oh, now it looks like suddenly Lansdowne has turned on a switch, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, like the defense there again for the Free Jacks, just a little bit soft and slow. And Lansdowne just identify that. And
there's
we're
your man, DC.
Oh,
and it's called good, and you just saw an unbelievable series of plays. We're going to have to see that one back to see if it was forward or not. What's your opinion of that without seeing a replay?
I mean, like from here, that looked forward. I think the key thing, though, in the game is this is a really important, 10 minutes or so for the Free Jacks. I think that they just gave a little bit too much space to the Lansdowne players who were just able to exploit that, and that's an easy try.
That was Niels Murphy corralling it at the end after Scott DC with some veteran moves there to get the ball in the open. After it was spun backwards, they were barreling forward, and now here he is trying to catch his breath, I think, before he kicks. And you heard that there's a legion of fans over here to our right in the booth that are Lansdowne.
Alakaduz.
We're going to wait on that replay if we can one more time to see if we can see if that was a forward pass as we're waiting the kick.
If you're to give Scott DC that much space on the ball with the players around him, you're going to see that again. So I think the message for the Free Jacks is just to keep that line integrity together and come up with a bit more pace.
All right, there it is again. Here's the replay. It was behind him. He spun and caught it.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Well, here it is again. It's
a forward pass.
It's forward.
But I mean, look, that's rugby. I mean, the referee is pretty well positioned, but it won't be the first or last forward pass that we'll see that's not given. So it's now 31-24. We've got one try in it. It's an important period of the game here, Matt, and it's interesting to see if Lansdowne are able to maintain that energy that they have currently on the ball.
It was a forward pass, but it was a remarkably athletic play to corral it back in and then get it off. All right, here's the restart. We have ourselves a dandy all of a sudden. And I told myself I wasn't going to say dandy today.
And he just did.
It just happened organically. Lansdowne counter-punching after letting up 26 unanswered points by the Free Jacks. Oh, that looked like it might have been a forward offload, but into the open.
Good pace there by Matt Healy, the young second row for Lansdowne. Look at the numbers here.
There's about 50 people on the outside here for Lansdowne, it looked like. And now it's all the yellow and red and black jerseys going forward. Let's see how the Free Jacks respond. DC. There's Diego Marquera is in now. There's a little move on the inside. A good tackle, though. That looks like it might be John Kokinda on as well. Check that in a second for the Free Jacks as they are starting to put up a wall on defense, the red, white, and blue. They need a stop here or a turnover. Meanwhile, Lansdowne.
Step back.
Let's go one pass out here, Matt.
Step back,
They've got
13.
some numbers out there.
13 white.
They've been puncturing that defensive line in the last couple of minutes. Let's see if the Free Jacks can tighten it up.
I look to play here, maybe a soft 10. There's a lot of defenders inside the 10 channel around the ruck. Good defense.
Step back, 4.
That's Kakinda. John Kakinda from Wakefield, Mass. And a ton of experience. Played World Club Sevens for New York City and London at Twickenham in 2014. Wearing number 20 right now. And there's that turnover that we were looking for if you're a Free Jacks fan. And you are damning it in Dublin right now if you're a Lansdowne fan.
The Free Jacks will be blessing themselves. Like Lansdowne there kept attacking where the Free Jacks had the most defenders around the breakdown. It was really important for the fours to work off the ball a little bit more and maybe look to play a little bit wider off the 9. So they played right into the Free Jacks' hands, and we have a turnover.
We have another turnover, and you heard the fans react accordingly. And it's a great fan base here. If you look around, we've got pretty much full stands. We've got standing room. This is really a spectacular facility, and it's in the mix for the Free Jacks home next year. They're talking about putting up stands on both sides and polishing off the old girl, but it really doesn't need a lot.
I mean, I'd certainly would look to be playing here as often as we can. There's a nice community here. And I think, you know, particularly playing MLR, if you can get a home venue that is very much identified with yourself as a team, it'll be a tough place for teams to come, and you need that in this league. You need to win your home games. So I'm sure Alex Magabine, with the smart man he is in discussions with the ICC to try and make this their home.
But Greg, are there any Irish people in the Boston area?
Maybe one or two. Maybe one or two.
Couple, yeah.
Because
maybe there's some synergy there.
I think there is synergy. I think there's certainly a good market there. You know, the Irish people, there's 35 million Irish people in America, and there's only 5 million Irish people in Ireland. So I think 33.5 million of them live in Boston. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I think, I was under the impression there'd be no math today, but now that you brought it up, yeah. All right. And here's a big opportunity for the Free Jacks. Penalty awarded, and Ty Gleeder will kick it into touch. And he drills it right into the legion of Lansdowne fans, and they applaud themselves for the catch.
So that was a free kick, meaning that Lansdowne will get the throw in, but at least Tig has relieved pressure there. Blessed. They'll be very happy with that now. I've got Lansdowne away from their 22, and they want to keep them high up the field as often as they can.
So I wanted to get back to Kyle Sakara while we have a break.
Substitution.
Any shot at him getting on the radar for USA Rugby?
I mean, look, between Gary Gold, Jacques, Sean Pittman, and myself, I mean, we watch so much rugby. We're always looking for players who can come in and make an impact, either in a collegiate side or in a U20 side or in the national side.
I mean, his hairdo alone is enough for me.
I thought Chris Bowman had signed for the Free Jacks, and I saw him there.
It's like Kenny Powers from
Kenny Powers, yeah.
Eastbound and down. Yeah. There's a pass that knocks him right on his keister, but he's back up on his feet.
The energy's gone here from the Lansdowne attack. You can see they're slow to their feet.
Well, when a ball knocks you over, you know that's when you got to.
Oh, it's narrow defense.
Here it is, a little counterattack. Nobody told Lansdowne that.
Keep going.
The wise guys in the booth are wrong again. There's a great tackle from the Free Jacks on defense, and this is an exciting match. If you are just tuning in, the Free Jacks were losing at one point, and then came back with 26 unanswered points, and have just earned another turnover. And Diego Marchiera is in the middle of that.
Very good turnover. You know, Lansdowne looked to be a little bit slow, but got the ball to the edge against a narrow defence. And when they play back in off the edge, we saw a good turnover there by Diego. It's a great turnover.
And you know, Diego Armando Marchiera has probably the most dramatic name.
He does,
Major League Rugby. He had a run with the Houston SaberCats last year, who have completely turned things around under Paul the Cactus Emmerich, by the way. They've won 2 matches already this week. They got another one today. They could have a trifecta of wins in 8 days.
Yeah, looking forward to being at home, getting home in time to watch that game. I think you'll see it very often in either professional soccer
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, sorry to interrupt, but we are going away for a quick break. It's a short one, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Back just like that at the Irish Cultural Center just outside Boston and Canton, Massachusetts. A spectacular day for rugby, a spectacular facility, a lot of smiling fans. Lansdowne, the storied club from Ireland, established in 1872 by Henry Dunlop, against the team established in 2018 by Eric Anderson and Alex Magleby, the New England Free Jacks. And we have a great match right now. It's 31-24 in favor of the hometown Free Jacks. With this line out, Sean McNulty. Here's leader, who's got a brace of tries. That's 2 for the folks that are counting at home. There's number 17, Steve Hinshaw, just in, goes to ground, and earns a penalty.
You run the ball, but I can't.
Matt, this is one of the decisions. I know there's a bit of a win there, but if the Free Jacks were to take their points, I mean, it's important. I think at the moment they're 7 points ahead. This will make it 10, which is a converted try and a penalty. But maybe the win's a little bit too great for him.
That's right. Eric Anderson also in at scrum half. He was pleading the case as his mate on the ground. Hinshaw, another Dartmouth guy.
That's absolutely the right decision to go for the points here. If they can get 10 ahead, that means it's 2 converted scores, but also it's a 22 dropout if they miss back to the Free Jacks. So yeah, I think this is a great play, good game management here.
And you know, this is the 5th match, if I'm not mistaken, against a team from Ireland for the Free Jacks. And as far as I remember, they didn't have a lead in the second half. And now they're looking to pad a lead in the second half. So things are on the up.
Yeah, you got to remember, as an organization, it's just started. If they can get good momentum going into the off-season, the players will come back with a spring in their step. Looking forward to starting next year's MLR.
And that was a huge kick right through the uprights, right down Broadway for Ty Gleader.
Yeah, great game management there. 10 points ahead now. So even if Lansdowne do score a try and convert it, they'll still need to get some extra points. So it's smart play, and hopefully they can get out of their own half now. Lansdowne with the kickoff, and we'll be looking to apply some pressure.
Here's Christian Adams fielding a kick, and we thought maybe he'd be tested early, and he hadn't been, and here he is with a great counterattack, a great run, physical run into contact. We're going to try the short side, and they're going forward here, Greg, on the front foot. Barreling forward again. Gotta like that with the reserves.
Turnover there for Lansdowne.
Yep. Unfortunate, just when you have those, it keeps you on the edge of your seat, certainly, if you're a fan.
Absolutely. Look to get this wide, which you're seeing they're doing pretty well.
Just noting Ronan McCusker is in off the bench. That's a nice substitution for Josh Smith to have. Number 19 just came up from the Austin Elite on loan. And there's some big hits there. There's a lot of players on knees and hands on hips. So you're seeing some heavy breathing, and each one of them actually deserves it. They've been playing physical rugby here in front of these very happy fans.
Yeah, but you see what an extra little bit of line speed does for defensive side, just to put the Lansdowne players under a little bit more pressure. And anybody does anything, if they're under pressure, they're not going to do it as well. And that's good defence from the Free Jacks, and now they have a scrum looking to continue to get out of their own half and play in the right areas. But yeah, Lansdowne will be disappointed with that.
All right, so again, you have those
Krill.
changes for the Free Jacks.
Fines.
Eric Thompson, Kakinda, McCusker,
Set.
Kiera, Hinshaw, Macchiera, all in. Josh Smith using his reserves. Here's Eric Thompson. We're going to have to start thinking about man of the match. Yeah, but there's a great play. And down the far side, the Free Jacks going in for another try. And it's in. That's number 12. That's the Bonjour.
Fantastic. You know, that's smart play again. They had a high up defense, and they had their fullback that was quite deep. So really good kick space. Done very well by Ty. Good hands.
And there's Guillemot finishing. The Frenchman came over from the Austin Elite. A very talented player. Normally a fly half. But that's a great team try for the Free Jacks right there.
That's a good try.
And he just said, he said to me before the game, just call me Tim. I said, no, give me the correct pronunciation. He said, just call me Tim. If I score, say bonjour. So that was that lame attempt right there.
Yeah, jeepers.
I didn't finish it. I was supposed to say bonjour, Tim.
Okay.
But kudos to him. Well
good
done.
Try.
All right, so this really turns the tide a little bit. Lansdowne is really up against it if they're going to try to get back in this, which makes our job a little bit easier in picking men of the match.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few standout performers for both sides. I think the person who's kicking the ball now has had a big impact, particularly in the second half. A good tactical kick.
No pressure, but if he doesn't make this kick, we don't pick him as man of the match.
Let's see.
You got about 10 seconds.
He's about 10 seconds, I say, to kick this.
Every time a kicker makes one of these kicks, it amazes me. That's how horrific I was as a kicker. But nope, he doesn't get it. But doesn't diminish him being part of the MOM Man of the Match pool.
His game management in the second half has been very good. You know, obviously he's scored a couple of meat pies, and he had an important penalty there with 15 minutes to go that put the Free Jacks more than a score ahead. So he's had a big impact.
All right, and there's Jackson Thebes ending his college goals after playing at the University of Montana football, D1 football for 4 years, taking that kick.
Good hands there from Sean McNulty, but I have to say, Matt, as well, both second rows have worked their socks off for the Free Jacks.
Oh, there's a kick down into the middle of the field. Well done by Leader. He saw the opening and put it right where nobody was. And there's good kick and chase. The kick is still against the chase, right, Greg?
Yeah, it's pretty clear they've had a tactic this second half that's been effective. And now you have them playing in the right parts of the field. It's hard for Lansdowne to score from here.
No truer words were said, my friend.
And now you have a turnover because you've got tired players. So this is working into the Free Jacks' hands. They'll be delighted with this. It's been a very strong second half. Good performance.
There's Diego Macchiera, of course, from Queens, and he went to Hunter College High School in New York City. I got to give my boy from New York a shout out.
I'd say they'll kick for the corner here, though. I wouldn't say they'll kick for points this time. I could be wrong.
I'd go for the points.
I wouldn't here. I would before I go for the corner here. I'd look to get your maul going.
All right, we've got about 7 minutes left in the match, unofficial time, 39-24. All right, kick to the corner. That's why you're the coach of the Eagles and I'm in the booth. But all right,
no, not at all.
Let's make our producer's job here at Next Level Rugby a little bit more simplified by picking the man of the match. All right.
I've been really impressed with the second rows of the Free Jacks. I mean, their work rate has been brilliant. They've been catalyst. But again, I think you can't look past Ty Leader for the impact he's had in the second half in particular. He's controlled the game well. He has he's got his kicks and he's had to get his kicks. I'm not sure about you, Matt, but I'd have Ty as being your man of the match.
But you mentioned the second row, and there's Thebes with another great take.
Yeah.
Putting the arm up, the ex-football player. He is just an athlete. But does Josh Smith come into consideration for his Josh juice that they were drinking at halftime? Because
he does,
just completely turned the complexion of the...
Josh, the coaching staff had a big impact here.
Oh, but Leader going for the hat trick. He must be listening to us in the booth. There's Eric Thompson, looks one way, goes the other. And the Free Jacks, there's Thebes, who's had a tremendous amount of work and a solid match along with his counterpart Kindrigan at lock for the Free Jacks. But the Lansdowne defense keeping them out of the try zone right now. Makiera looking, he's an opportunist. There's Kokinda, whose famous picture with the blood mustache. And it looks like Kindrigan. Cork Conman in for the try against his fellow Irishman. Let's just double check that. It is indeed, and he has had a big day as well.
Very
we can't
big.
pick everybody, can we?
No, like that try there, it was a perfect case in point. Like Diego, who came on here, look at his latching here. I'm not sure if it's this ruck or the next ruck, but most impressively has been the breakdown work of this Free Jacks team in the second half. They're very tight to the ball and very hard for Lansdowne to turn them over, and we're seeing them holding onto the ball there for 6-7 phases and scoring underneath the sticks. Great play.
All right, so I'm going to narrow it down to Thebes and Leader, and it's on you. Throwing you under the bus. All right, Leader is getting ready for the kick, and he's just looks like, is he going to drop kick it?
No, he's going to take his time. You know, you'll see this a lot. He's under no rush.
Why is he so close? There you go. No charge? Could somebody explain that to me there?
Well, I think you would have seen the body language of the Lansdowne team. That is, you know, they do look tired.
So our man of the match?
Tig Leader.
Tig Leader is going to be our man of the match. Tig Leader will be our man of the match. And, you know, the one thing that almost kept me from voting for him was his taste in movies, because his favorite movie is Waterboy.
Oh, yeah? Not Shawshank Redemption, no?
No, that was taken. But
Okay.
taken as well by
Yeah,
the man that could have won
Didn't have
the
too
man of
much
the match was
effect.
Jackson Thebes with a spectacular performance today.
Both second rows. You know, Sean McNulty
Yeah.
has been really active as well. I mean, you do disservice sometimes when you give it to Tig, but the thing is, you got to remember that all the critical moments in the second half, Tig's been a part of. 2 good tries, his show and goes, his try off the maul, his penalty kick. I mean, just at crucial times he stood up. But both second rows for me have been really excellent.
Fines.
Looks like Devin Ibanez is also in the match. A Mystic River guy. Maccabea team. Glenfield.
That's a penalty, sir.
It is a penalty.
Lansdowne scrum has improved with Ian Prendeville on. You know, he's been around the block. He's a very, very good player, very good scrummager.
And I just want to get the other subs in. Adnan Kawama.
Just bailed out of the contest.
Kampala, Uganda is also in. He was an Eastern Mass All-Star in soccer and went to boarding school in Uganda. Got a Scent of Women. Scent of a Woman is his favorite movie.
Good. Al Pacino. He's blind in that one, right?
He is.
Is that right? Yeah, good
Al
movie.
Pacino, not Adnan Kawama.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But there's the
7
line
go round, 7,
as we
16
get to the
around.
final moments. Here's a driving ball by Lansdowne.
Line advantage.
They'd like to get
sir.
one before they go into the shed.
So like we talked about earlier on, Matt, you had the defence there coming in illegally.
Oh, nice tackle. But it's going to be a penalty to...
Let's try.
Penalty try, yep.
Make sure we
No.
don't swim. You
That's an
change
actual
your
try.
line. No,
It was
you
penalty
change your
advantage.
line.
So
I'm
we saw
confused.
when you have a really good maul set up like Lansdowne just had, it tempts the opposition to come in from the side, particularly when it's narrow. So what we saw there was a penalty advantage, and Lansdowne took the advantage well, scrum half sniping and scoring a try.
Try to see that again.